You're watching Outsiders, and next we'll be speaking to a brilliant author, Douglas Murray, who predicted with perfect clarity the utter insanity that we are seeing right now. But first, I have a crazy idea. Hear me out. What if we stopped pandering to crazy, intolerant hate mobs full of genuinely awful, genuinely stupid human beings who want to destroy monuments, erase history, overturn capitalism, and feel entitled to attack law-abiding citizens? Have a look at this young lady screaming at an older black man because he dared to show up to protect a statue that the mob wants to tear down.
What you got? What you got? You go out here and tell me the history of the South. You don't even know the history. You don't even know the history.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Tell it to me then.
Why are you protecting it? What do you know the history?
Why?
Why?
Who paid for it? Who paid for it? Who paid for the statue? Who paid for it? Who paid for it?
You heard the gentleman there ask who paid for it. Who paid for the statue that woman and the Black Lives Matter mob want to tear down? That is the Emancipation statue, paid for by freed slaves. Thousands of black Americans gathered in 1876 to watch its unveiling. And now, ignorant, hate-filled thugs who the media call peaceful protesters want to tear it down. Let's hear from that older gentleman. His name's Dan Folden, who was abused and jostled for defending the Emancipation Memorial.
To Black Lives Matter protesters who are demanding to tear this down, and they are basically, in a way...
I say the Black Lives Matter people are full of shit. And the reason I say they're full of shit, because their money ain't saying Black Lives Matter. You coming out here, you want to tear down statues, but how much of this black history of D.C. do you really know? If black lives really matter, you know, how much of this history have you tried to learn?
This wasn't some isolated incident. Throughout this protest, we've seen the emergence of a disturbing trend. The unhinged, educated but ignorant, anti-racist racists. Look at this white woman belittling black officers and demanding to see pictures of the white officer's black wife and children.
I hope you're an anti-racist then.
How can I be? I'm white. I'm inherently racist.
You just called him a liar, saying you don't have a black wife and black children. You called him a liar. You're beyond.
I wanted to see a picture. I wanted to see a picture to believe him.
Like, how dare you ask about this man's family? Yeah. How dare you make a you don't know nothing about him.
Here is another so-called anti-racist protester, a white woman in activewear, taunting a black female officer, putting a camera phone right in her face and telling her to smile.
Smile for Breonna Taylor. I'm a genius. Smile.
Of course, they're not all so polite. Here is another so-called anti-racist protester, a white man with a man bun, abusing a black officer, even calling him the N-word. Seriously.
Mom's gonna tell you a piece of If your mother doesn't, I feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for your family. Tell this bitch ass turn these hands on people. Yeah. Right.
You know, these anti-racist protesters have a lot in common with real racists. Like white supremacists, they're obsessed with colour, ethnicity and victimhood. And somehow, despite all available evidence, they believe that they are both morally and intellectually superior. These people think the most important thing about an individual isn't their actions, their character or achievements, but the colour of their skin and the suffering of their ancestors. There are those who, despite having every freedom and protection under the law, are determined to see themselves as lifelong oppressed victims. And then there are the white saviours, the self-loathers who project their own madness and prejudice on others. Those who feel so morally superior to their fellow citizens that they feel entitled to behave like this.
You don't care that we just have cardboard! Let's f***ing saw you! What the f*** is wrong with you?
but when I go to
This is the country we live in. This is it. And
What's your name?
how the is stupid name?
Let's end with activewear girl who was asked why she thought it was okay to scream abuse in the face of black officers in the name of anti-racism.
Are you afraid of police?
I have a question for you. You're white and you're telling this to two black police officers.
Yeah.
Do you see the problem with that a little bit?
No, I don't, because you know what? Just because I'm white and I haven't experienced racism myself doesn't mean I can't fight for justice. They're a part of the system. They're a part of the problem. Just because they're black doesn't mean they're not a part of the problem.
Yep, if black people won't do as they're told, in the case of those officers, quit their jobs and join the unemployment queue, then the white BLM supporter is entitled to hector them. Anti-racism in 2020 looks pretty damn racist.
Well, Rita, that was fantastic. Listen, there's so much going on there. The end of the age of reason. We've turned everything upside down, revolution in the streets.